Hey, Desiree here with Soulpath Astrology and this week's Oracle card readings. Welcome to video 2. Welcome to Soulpath Astrology and welcome to this week's Astro Weather as well as card number 2. So, Astro Weather, the big event is our Libra full moon happening on the 12th. That's, I believe, Saturday this week in Libra. So, this is like, it's a pink moon. Libra is all about relationships. At the same time, Venus is going direct. Yay. So this is the last of the personal planets to go direct. I know the first quarter of this year has felt a little bit slow, a little bit like there's been a lot of 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, and just a lot of redo, evaluate. Maybe you started something new and now, you're having to go back and really take a more realistic view of it to maybe there was something really exciting that happened that you started making all these plans around, and there's been some hiccups or some things that have sort of gotten in the way of it just like advancing at the rate of speed that you were hoping for. This full moon is the advent of the energies now really starting to just move forward. So anything that you've been really, especially if it's related to, well, it's going to depend actually on your personal chart. Where this is falling in your chart. But Libra is for all of us about relationships. And so there's going to be a completion of some sort of relationship, either an actual relationship or a way of being in relationship, or perhaps it's a way of being in relationship to money or to your life generally, or certainly in relationships to other people, definitely. So the full moon, this is shedding light. Its fullness, in its fullness, is shedding light on areas that are ready for you to be fully complete in, and to shed a skin like a snake that is no longer fitting, that's no longer serving you. And like I said in the first video, this doesn't just happen to you like without your participation. Any of these energies, any of the archetypes that come online are available for us to tap into, but still require our active, conscious participation. And if you want some help with that, I would love to assist. You can find a link to my calendar below. You can message me directly. We can set something up. Whether that's a reading that you'd like to see where this might be falling in your chart, if it's a soul path reading where you're wanting to see what the shape of your soul is, what some of your karmic lessons are that you came here, help jig your memory, remind yourself of your reason why you arrived here, then I would love to do that. If you want to set up coaching, let's do that. Either way, let's jump into card number 2 with the overarching theme here of this Libra full moon. We have the 6 of Wands. So this is such a celebratory card. This is like, so the theme is that he's come back from war and the townspeople are like, yes, our hero is back. Woo! He's doing all these things. In some other decks, I've seen one in the Light Seers deck where it's a lady on stage and the crowd is like cheering her on. And that is very much the energy of this card. This is an invitation into promoting, self-promoting, into claiming your greatness, into not being an egotistic asshole, but like just really allow your accomplishments to land, allow your body to soak up how far you've come, that you have been doing this work over the last 4 months of really learning to integrate what's been coming up for you in relationships. What are you willing to settle for? What are you not? How tall does life need to be? Like, what is your minimum standard for yourself with respect to what you're going to accept in your life, that in particular with relationships, but even your relationship to money, your relationship to yourself, all of these things, right? And so this card, if it was yours, is like inviting you into pausing for a moment and just like relishing in that you are doing so good. Like, this is a high five from the tarot deck saying, ah, yes, like revel in this, enjoy this, celebrate your wins. And if you are thinking of starting a new business, if you're thinking of maybe adding something to your repertoire, right now is a wonderful time to begin promoting that, and to really just like, you're going to be supported in being seen as an expert, as being seen as competent and capable. So yeah, if this was your card, go for that. Do the thing, do the self-promotion, revel in feeling accomplished and that you're doing a job well done. And yeah, just let's just bask in that for a minute together. I feel like we live in a culture that doesn't it either over promotes it, where it's a sort of narcissistic, tinny, shallow celebration, or we're conditioned to that it's not, that it's shallow to acknowledge your gifts and your accomplishments, and that somehow if you're a good person you won't give yourself permission to welcome that in. And this card is like, listen, there is a spiritual way, there is a holistic way of inviting in self celebration and self accomplishment, and of course with the idea of generatively recycling that and then offering even more out to the world in service, right? That's only the only time that self love or self promotion becomes detrimental or deleterious is when it isn't recycled and then put back into service. That is the magic alchemy. So bring in and receive, whether that's from others or the self, like receiving that validation and then putting it back into service to the greater whole. That is what creates flow, and flow is what prevents stagnancy and stuckness and anything, same with any of our feelings, right? Is when we can allow, there are no negative feelings. The thing is to allow it all to move through us as energy. So allow the energy of accomplishment to move through you and to move into even greater accomplishment, even greater service moving forward. Hope that landed. Love you guys. As always, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy this video. Watch all three if you want a triple dose of love and celebration and intuition and just some love and light in your life. In the meantime, folks, you enjoy yourselves, and I will see you next Tuesday.